So, my second topic, international trade. When the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development came into being in 1964, that was the first major change in the state of affairs of developing nations into international trade, as they did not participate actively in multilateral trade negotiations for a relatively long time. So, what is international trade? International trade is an exchange of goods and services between and among different countries. Dahil sa impact ng globalization, nagkaroon tayo ng international trade. Ang palitan ng goods and services automatically ng isang country na globally or tinatawag na active sa global economic at hindi lamang sa loob ng country na yun umiikot ang mga goods and services nila. Kapag may import or export products, ibig sabihin involved ang bansa sa tinatawag na international trade. Nothing is new with this type of exchange as this has been in existence many centuries back then. Noon pa man, there is a trade happen like between this nation and other nation, and even in these recent years. So in this period, however, nations are putting an increasing importance to international trade. So advancement in the transportation and communication network and the availability of the financial infrastructure facilitated flow of the goods and services across the countries of the world. Why do countries trade? Number one, based on the principles of absolute and comparative advantage. Number two, some countries have growing dependence in international trade. Number three, no man is an island. Many countries or many, if not all countries, have growing dependence of the international trade. So developing countries that import capital goods and raw materials have to specialize to some form of export for a country to be able to pay for its imports. It has to earn from its export. Take note that on getting the net export, it should be export minus import. So trade has been considered as an engine of big role with the help of the infrastructure, transportation, and even with the help of internet. We can connect with the other country with more import and export trade related jobs are created. Rich and even poor countries dependence on another countries for many goods and services they need. And here we can say that no man is an island. Because even communist at yung mga socialist countries, yung mga isolated countries, they have realized that they cannot be absolutely self-reliance. Kaya kailangan din nila mag-depend sa other countries. To have an efficient allocation of this limited resource and avoid waste, a country must certain buy off to obtain to pay those goods. It could not produce efficiently, kaya may mga countries na hindi nila ma-produce yung ganitong klaseng goods. Ano ang dapat nilang gawin? Kailangan nilang mag-import sa ibang country. That's why international trade is important. For example nito, dito na lang sa atin sa Philippines, ang rice natin, hindi ma-meet yung demand ng mga tao with regards sa high quality of rice. Kaya ang mangyayari, si Pilipinas o yung may mga business, they import rice from other countries like Malaysia and Vietnam. Even here in the Philippines, we cannot grow apple or orange, and these fruits are one of the necessities ng mga prutas kaya nag-import tayo from Japan. Kung ano yung wala dito, yun ang ini-import because we have to satisfy the needs of the people. At tayo din, nag-export tayo sa kanila, yung mga top export product natin, katulad ng saging, niyog, pinya, at kasama din dito yung ating sugar cane na pwede na i-export sa other countries. And a country will process these raw materials input to a finished product. So that is the importance of international trade. Napapaloob dito yung give and take principles. Kung anong wala tayo na meron sila, import tayo. At kung ano naman, yung wala sila na meron tayo, export tayo. Moreover, transfer of technology, capital flows, and cheaper, wider choices of goods are some of the benefits of trade. So hence paid inevitable, hindi talaga natin yan maiiwasan, and therefore it is important to understand international trade and principles behind it. And here are some benefit of trades. We have the specialization and improved resource allocation. A country will be able to specialize only in the production of those goods which it can produce cheaply. Next one, economies scale. Mass production results to a lower price of good. And the third one, transfer of technology. Through joint ventures, industries will expand to other countries and they will bring with it technology used in production. And here are the various ways to make trade easier with other country. Na-discuss ito ni Miss Eunice, and isa-cite ko lang kasi kasama siya dun sa topic ko. We have the free trade, trading goods and services between two or more countries. Example of this, Canada and South Korea. The second one is the trade bloc, agreement made between government to eliminate trade barriers. Example of these are NAFTA and ASEAN. Number 3, outsourcing. Manufacturing jobs transfer from developed nation to developing nation that reduce the cost of products. Ganito yung nangyayari sa outsourcing. Instead na mag-export ay yung product, halimbawa ay candy. Ang gagawin is yung manufacturing is outsourced sa ibang country. So, instead na dun sa country B, and ang ginawa na lang nila mismo yung manufacturer ang magta-transfer sa country B, at ang magandang dulot naman ito sa kanila ay job opportunities. Saka, syempre, ma-abolish yung tariff or required fee. And another significant global actors are the World Trade, the IMF, and the WTO, which transferred from GATT. From the Bretton Woods Conference, all these three support the expansion of international trade to discourage the protectionism and prevent conflicts that may lead to another world war. Kasama din dito yung key trade facts, the trade deficit. Dito of course with the import exceed exports, the trade surplus. That of course exports exceed imports to the United States has trade surplus in service such as air transportation services and financial services. And the trade barriers and export subsidies, we have the tariff, revenue tariff, and the protective tariff. So, kasama din dito yung import quota and the export subsidy. Here are the examples of the good traders, international traders, the Canada, the United States, and China. And the last part of my topic, the McDonaldization of society. So, why McDonaldization includes international trade? Because we all know that McDonald's is one of the world's largest multinational organization. So, defined as the principles of the fast food restaurant coming to dominate more and more sectors of American society as well as of the rest of the world. So, makikita naman natin yan kung maraming tumatangkilik. Siyempre, mga estudyante, sa trabaho, sa mga healthcare, sa traveling, sa family, and every other aspect of the society. So, advantage of McDonaldization, able to get what you want instantly and conveniently. Goods and services are far more uniform and consistent, far more economical. People have less the time, efficiency helps. Wider range of goods and services to more people in more places. And the basic organizational principles of McDonaldization, they have the number 1, efficiency. In serving their food, sometimes not satisfied in method of their task. That's within the given time, they cannot serve the order. So, isite ko lang sa ibang bansa kasi, hindi siya katulad dito sa atin na siniserve ng crew. Sa kanila, pag nag-order ka, ikaw nang magdadala ng food mo, ikaw nang maglalagay sa table mo, Kakain ka, after mong kumain, ikaw rin yung maglilinis ng iyong pinagkainan. Hindi katulad dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, order ka, pag medyo late yung magawa yung preparation ng iyong in-order, dadalhin ni crew sa iyong table, pagkatapos mo naman kumain, aalis ka na, si crew na ang bahala sa iyong pinagkainan. Sa foreign country, hindi ganon. The second one, calculability. It emphasizes of the quantitative aspect of products sold and service offered. Leave nothing to chance, quantity over quality. Next one, uniformity and predictability. An individual can walk into a McDonald's restaurant almost anywhere and buy the same sandwiches, drinks, and desserts, prepared in precisely the same way. Uniformity results from a highly rational system that specifies every action and leaves nothing to chance. So, magkaiba naman tayo sa ibang country kasi 'di ba? Tayo may rice, sila naman walang rice. Saka yung mga chicken, iba yung size ng chicken dito sa atin, saka size ng chicken sa kanilang bansa. Ganon din sa mga drinks and other serving food na binibigay ng McDonald's. And the last one, control through automation. The most unreliable element in the McDonald's system is human being. People, after all, have good and bad days. Sometimes, let their mind wander or decide to try something a different way. To minimize the unpredictable human element, McDonald's has automated their equipment to cook food and a fixed temperature for a set length of time. Even the cash register at McDonald's is keyed to picture of the item so that ringing up customers' orders is as simply as possible. So, meron na rin tayong mga ganyan dito, yung mga computerized, pipindot ka lang, magbabayad ka, lalabas si papel, then, pagdaan mo sa drive-thru, lalabas na si food, very convenient, hindi ka na pipila, hindi ka na magsasalita. Meron na tayo yan dito sa Pilipinas. So, this is my news update. Ito yung Chinese cities rush to provide trains to China Laos Rail ahead. And Riasa Boom 2, SE Asia Economy, bagong open na kalsada. Connected from Laos to China. Siya ay may sukat na 1,035 km. So, easy na mag-transfer ng mga products and goods ang Laos going to China. And this is my mystery quote. That's it for today. Thank you for listening.